In the years since the Persians conquered Babylon, the Persian Empire had become the most powerful in all the world. Reaching from India to Ethiopia, King Xerxes now sits on the throne at Susa. To celebrate his greatness, he throws a party for his noblemen, a big, expensive, and long party.
The king has been entertaining high ranking officials for like 6 months now. How much longer will this feasting go on?
Until he thinks he has impressed all of his subjects with his wealth and power.
Mhm.
Xerxes' huge party finally comes to an end. To celebrate, he throws another party, this one for his closest friends. After several days of drinking, the king begins his boasting.
I'm not just the richest and strongest. I also have the most beautiful wife in the empire. You don't believe me, do you? No, that's okay. I'll prove it to you. Send for Queen Vashti. Just you wait. She's stunning.
Your Highness, the Queen refuses to come.
What? This is horrible. My wife doesn't obey my commands? My nobleman, you must help me. According to the Persian law, what can I do to undo what she didn't do?
They're puzzling through the king's question. One of his advisors stands up and points out that the consequences are much worse than they even realize.
Bum bum.
She has not just offended you, O king. She has brought disaster upon all the men in the kingdom. Once women hear that Queen Vashti has disobeyed you, they will start disobeying their own husbands. They'll do whatever they want. They might even talk to us. It will be chaos. Now, if I understand the king rightly, and I think I do, then I, king, should do what I would do.
Which is?
First, announce that Vashti is no longer the queen. Then search the countryside looking for the most beautiful woman, young and quiet woman in the land. You can pick out a new wife, a better wife. Then women will know not to talk back to their husbands, and we'll all have peace.
Brilliant!
He is so right.
We'll make our women respect us.
So the king banishes his queen and sends out a decree. Vashti is no longer the queen, and I think every man should be king in his own household. After his rage and the wine wears off, King Xerxes starts to miss Vashti. Then he remembers what she had done and what he had done.
I don't have a beautiful queen anymore. And I can't bring Vashti back because I can't undo the new law.
I know what will make you feel better. We'll bring you all the most beautiful women in the kingdom. You can pick your favorite to be your new queen, and the one you pick will be even more beautiful than Vashti.
The shallow king agrees. Now, there's a Jewish man named Mordecai who works in the courts of the capital city of Susa. He has a cousin named Esther. Esther's parents died when she was very young, so Mordecai has raised her like his own daughter. Now that she's grown up, Esther is a beautiful woman who impresses everyone she meets. When all the beautiful women in the land are brought to the king's palace, Esther is among them.
Don't be afraid. You will be treated well in the palace. But don't let anyone know that you are Jewish.
In the palace, the young women are brought before Haggai, the head servant in charge of making sure all the candidate girls are as beautiful as they can be.
You girls may have been pretty enough for the pig herder in your tiny town, but none of you is pretty enough for the king. At least not yet. Not until I've worked my magic. You won't even get to see the king until I've polished your looks like a jeweler polishing a beautiful gemstone. First, we're going to take 6 months to treat your skin with the finest lotions and oils. King Xerxes can't stand the sight of pimples. Then, we'll take another 6 months finding exactly the right scent of perfume for you. will also teach you how to apply makeup to best show off your face. Then and only then will you get to see the king. At that point, if the king likes you and remembers your name, you will be our next queen. But I must tell you, even after all my beauty treatments, the king has never remembered any of the candidates' names.
In spite of his low opinion of the young women, Haggai is immediately charmed by the beautiful Esther.
You have grace and intelligence like none of these other girls. I'm giving you 7 maids to attend to you personally. You will have the best room in the palace.
Meanwhile, Mordecai has been worried about his adopted daughter every day. He hangs out around the outside walls of the harem where all the girls live, hoping to hear news of Esther. There, he makes friends with the guards who let him hang out near the women's section of the palace.
Don't worry.
Don't worry.
Don't worry. Everyone in the palace loves Esther.
You're a good father to check on her, but she is well taken care of.
Finally, after 12 months of beauty treatments, she looked like a beautiful butterfly. Wait, no. Haggai thinks Esther is ready to be presented to the king.
Is there anything you want to bring with you, Esther?
Whatever you recommend, Haggai, I trust you.
Sweet girl, just be yourself with the king. Don't be nervous. Everyone in the palace is rooting for you. If anyone can please the king and win his favor, it's gotta be Esther.
The next day, Haggai is called before the throne.
It's been 3 years, Haggai. 3 years of your beauty treatments and ho-hum village girls. And in all that time, I haven't found anyone who could compare to Vashti. Your job is finished. Don't bother bringing me any more girls.
Yes, your highness.
Instead, bring me back that girl Esther to be my new queen.
For months, Esther, along with hundreds of beautiful women of Persia, has lived in the palace waiting for the king to choose one of them to be his wife. The king has finally made his choice.
Esther, you are now my wife, queen of all Persia.
I am honored, my lord.
But Esther has kept her family a secret. She hasn't told anyone about her adopted father, Mordecai, a Jewish city official. Late that night, he goes to the walls of the harem to check on Esther, the new queen.
I am so proud and happy for you, but remember, even though you're the queen now, don't let anyone know that you're Jewish.
As he's leaving Esther's garden, Mordecai overhears 2 of the king's servants.
Our plan cannot fail.
No, by this time tomorrow, the king will be dead, and no one will know who killed him.
Mordecai quickly sends word of the plot to Esther. That very night, the king calls for her.
Why do you look troubled, my lovely? It gives you wrinkles.
My king, 2 of your servants plan to assassinate you.
King Xerxes investigates and finds out that Esther's report is true. He has guards bring his traitorous servants before him.
According to Persian law, what is the punishment for attempting to kill the king?
Death by impaling, sire.
Good. Do that. Now, my charming queen, how about you? How did you know about this plot?
Mordecai, one of your court officials, told me he overheard Bigthana and Teresh talking.
Big Fauna?
You hear that? Mordecai saved my life. You scribe, write that down in an official book of records because I don't want to forget it. I should reward him somehow.
Soon after this, the king needs to promote someone to be the new prime minister.
Haman, you will be above all the princes of my court. People will bow down to you like they do to me.
You have honored me very much, my lord.
Haman is very proud and enjoys having people in the city court bow before him, but Mordecai refuses to bow when Haman walks by.
Who is that man who does not show proper respect for me?
That's Mordecai, a Jew, and Jews will not bow down to any man.
All right, Mordecai, your day will come. You will pay for this, and so will every Jew in Persia.
So Haman goes home and casts lots, called Purim, to decide which day he will set for the Jews' punishment.
Let's see what date and month I will exterminate you. Aha! The 13th day of the month of Adar.
Angered because Mordecai will not bow before him, Haman prepares his revenge. But first he must trick his foolish king.
My king, there's a race of people in your kingdom who do not obey you. For your safety, they should be destroyed. Give me permission to make a law that will get rid of them in Persia.
Oh, wow. I'm glad you brought this to my attention, Haman. Do what you need to do to protect me. Use my ring to seal this new law. Then everyone will know that your law is my law.
Haman's law is quickly distributed throughout the kingdom of Persia.
Every Jew in Persia is to be destroyed on the 13th day of the 12th month. Anyone who kills the Jews may keep everything that belongs to the Jews that they kill.
Let us celebrate a good decision to my loyal prime minister.
Why would the king do this to us? We haven't done anything wrong.
When Mordecai, the Jewish man, hears the orders, he dresses in sackcloth and pours ashes over his head to show his sadness. Then he visits Esther there at the palace, who he hopes will be able to do something.
What are you doing here in sackcloth? Don't you know it's against the law to show mourning in the king's palace? You could be killed.
I'm to be killed anyway, along with all of our people.
What? Why?
The king has passed a new law ordering that all Jews are to be killed. It must be Haman's doing. His people have hated our people ever since the time of King Saul. You must go to him, go to the king, and ask him to spare the Jews.
I should go see the king? The king has one rule about anyone who approaches him without being invited: death. Unless he decides to hold out his scepter, and the king hasn't called for me in a month. If I go to King Xerxes uninvited, I face the death penalty.
If you don't go, your whole people face the death penalty. Who knows? Maybe you've been put into this royal position for a time just like this. Today, you must be more than a queen. You must be a Jew. And to save us, you must be more than a Jew. You must be a queen.
Go. Gather all the Jews in the city. Fast and pray for me. Don't eat or drink for 3 days. I will do the same. After 3 days, I will go to the king uninvited. And if I perish, I perish.
Queen Esther breaks the law by appearing before the king without an invitation. She could be punished by death, but the lives of her people, the Jews, are in danger, and she is the only one who may be able to save them.
Esther? I didn't invite her to come before me.
But as Xerxes looks at his beautiful new queen, he decides he doesn't mind the intrusion. He holds out his scepter to show his forgiveness.
What is it, my breathtaking beauty? What is your request? Even if you wanted half my kingdom, I would give it to you.
You know, Pastor Andy, I can't tell you how many times I walk in and Miss Casey sees me. She says the same thing. What is it, my breathtaking beauty?
I'm sure it happens just like that.
Patrick, if you could stick to the book and the Bible, that'd be great.
The moment has come when Esther can ask King Xerxes to spare her people.
I request that you and Haman come to a private party, just the 3 of us.
A party with you? Absolutely! Go get Haman now!
Esther entertains the king and Haman in her own private party, but she still doesn't tell Xerxes her real request. Instead, she invites him and Haman to come to another party tomorrow. Then she promises she'll tell him her true request. The king accepts, and so does Haman. who is overjoyed to be included.
Haman leaves his monarch's presence in a great mood. The honor and the wine he has been given make him very happy until he leaves the palace.
There he is. Does he still not fear how powerful I am? Will Mordecai bow to me?
But as Haman walks by, Mordecai just watches him and stays seated.
Mordecai! That stubborn Jew. He still won't give me honor. I can't wait to punish him.
Haman.
At home, Haman boasts about his success to his wife.
The king has given me great wealth and honor, and that's not all. The queen includes me in her private banquets. But none of that gives me satisfaction when I see that Jew Mordecai dishonor me.
You know what will make you feel better, Haman? You should build a gallows tonight. Then, first thing in the morning, ask the king to have Mordecai hanged on it. Then you'll be able to enjoy your dinner with the queen.
Wait until morning. Mordecai, when he sees what will happen to him tomorrow. That same night, the king cannot sleep.
I'll have a servant read me the public records. That won't put me to sleep.
The scribe reads to the king until the early hours of the morning. When the reading reaches the story of Mordecai, the king interrupts.
Stop! What reward did Mordecai get for saving my life?
None, my lord.
Well, that's no good. I really ought to do something for him.
At that moment, Haman enters the court to request Mordecai's hanging.
Ah, Haman, you're just the person I needed to see. If I wanted to honor you for pleasing me, what would you prefer that I do?
Oh, well, I'd want to wear one of your robes and ride your horse. Then I'd have one of your nobles lead me through the city, telling everyone the king respects this man.
I knew you'd have a great suggestion. Get the robe, get the horse, and do exactly what you said for that Jew Mordecai who works at my gates.
Mordecai? But I... Yes, sir.
Angry and humiliated, Haman is forced to perform for his enemy Mordecai the ceremony that he planned for himself.
The king respects this man. The king respects this man.
When he is finished, he barely has time to make it to the palace for his date with Esther and the king. He arrives in a foul mood.
As delightful as these luscious parties are, my luscious queen, you must have had a different reason to seek me out. I promise I'll give you anything you ask for.
My king, if you have any liking for me, save my life. That is my request. And spare the lives of my people. By the cruel plan of a certain man, we are to be put to death.
Put you to death? You? Who would dare do such a thing?
The wicked Haman!
Bum, bum, bum. You're Jewish?
You want to murder my queen?
The king storms out of the garden in a rage. Haman realizes he has made a huge mistake.
Please, when he comes back, tell the king to spare my life.
But the king has already returned.
And now you're attacking my queen in my own palace?
Your Highness, Haman was intending to hang Mordecai, who saved your life. He has just built a gallows near his house.
Oh, what good timing! Hang Haman on that place! Take him away! You shall have Haman's wealth because of the suffering he has caused you.
My relative Mordecai has suffered too.
Mordecai is related to you? Then he's done me 2 favors. I'll put him second in Haman's place. Second in power in all of my kingdom.
But Esther knows this. This is not enough.
If I have pleased you, I beg you to take back the order Haman sent to kill all the Jews.
I wish I could, my love, but according to the Persian law, no one, not even the king, can cancel an order that's been sealed with the king's ring. But I can send a new order.
The order is written and rushed to governors throughout the empire.
Listen, the king says the Jews may carry weapons to protect themselves, and that Mordecai, a Jew, has been made prime minister.
Ah, the king is on the side of the Jews. We'd better be too.
Maybe I should become Jewish.
On the 13th day of the 12th month, the Jews throughout the Persian Empire gathered together to defend themselves. With the help of the king's governors, they are successful. And at the palace,
Haman cast lots, Purim, to destroy us, but instead, we have been saved from our enemy. I've written an order that every year all Jews must celebrate this day. There should be much rejoicing and giving of gifts. It will be called the Feast of Purim.
Jewish people throughout the world still celebrate the Feast of Purim. So, catch this, guys. You might have thought this was something terrible that happened to Esther, something terrible that happened to the Jews. But the thing is, if bad stuff never happened, would we need God? No. We turn to God. He's there. He promises to never leave me or forsake me. He doesn't forget me. He's not looking the other way when something bad happens and go, oh, what happened? Nope. Everything that happens in this world has to come through his fingers first before it gets to us. So when that bad stuff happens, just like Mordecai, for 3 days, he just prayed, Lord, what do we do? And God answered. And what may have been yuck for Esther to have to leave Mordecai to go be in the palace and go through all that, for such a time as this, God said, I want Esther here. I'm going to deliver my people, and I'm going to use Esther. Where has God got you? Maybe it's in a school that you go, oh, I don't like this school. Or in a neighborhood, whatever it may be.
Or a quarantine?
Or
Maybe.
a quarantine. And God says, for such a time as this, I've got a plan. I want to connect you better with your mom, with your dad, with your brother, with your sister. Whatever it may be, don't waste this time. God has a purpose and a plan for it.